Hello there, my Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to a different kind of relationship reading for my channel called Me, Them, Us. If you are new to my channel, my name is Mark A. Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short. That's been my nickname since I'm 12 years old, so my friends call me Mal, so feel free to. This is a reading that I do for myself every now and again. Not just in relationships with people. That's what I wanted to clarify before I do this, that it can be you, my Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, and any person, place, or thing. So this could be about your relationship to money, your relationship to God, your relationship to air, whatever, as well as a place, your relationship to home, your relationship to, I don't know, Bahamas. I have a very special relationship with the Bahamas. I love it there, Eleuthera. Don't know what it looks like now, but we'll always have a pink sandy place in my heart. So what I would like you to do while I'm doing this is just take a moment, take a breath, get into your body like you do your Taurus signs you, and really focus on the other, who is the them, because we're going to do 3 lines of information, only 15 cards total. The first horizontal line will be for you, 1 card from each of the 5 decks I usually use. All of the decks I use are in the description box below, as well as my information, how to book a reading. And if you want to drop me a tip, I even got a PayPal me link. Yeah, you don't even need a PayPal account for that, apparently, right? Virgo. So the second line will be for the other. First line will be for you. Second line will be the other. Remember, it could be a person, place, or thing. You get to designate what that is. And then the third line will be for us, right? Like the whole thing overall. And I find these very helpful for myself when I do them as not daily quickies, but maybe twice a week. Like, where am I in my finances? What is my relationship to money? That kind of stuff. And of course, I use them for romantic sexual relationships as well. So let's have at it, shall we? The decks have been blessed, felt very good, very grounded, very rich, very deep, as a Taurus read would. But let's see what they all have to say, shall we? Here we go. I call upon my collective pantheon of angels, gods, masters, and higher selves. Please, what is the dominant archetype that this Taurus Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign is alchemizing in this relationship for the remainder of September the 15th to the 30th? Please, 1 card. All right, the wounded child. All right, now don't freak. A lot of people got the wounded child archetype, and as toxic as its shadow is really as bright. The wounded child, you could almost say, is the healed child in that which we're all striving for, and everyone has the child archetype because we were all children. Now, rather than build the line horizontally, I'm going to do it vertically so we get those archetypes both for the other, the them in this context, and then the us, right? So same thing, my pantheons, please. What is the dominant archetype, the soul power, being alchemized from lead to gold in this Taurus relationship? The martyr. And again, as toxic as the shadow really is as brilliant as the light. The martyr archetype is a very, very high divine family archetype. 1 more. For the relationship itself, please, my pantheons of angels, gods, masters, and higher selves. 1 archetype in overview for the relationship itself, involving this Taurus Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign for the remainder of September. Ooh, the athlete. Okay, interesting. But it's going to take some serious stuff here. That there's a lot going on. Like, it's like going to the gym. It's like training. That this is training you both for something. But keep in mind, if that other is not an actual person that you focused on, then there's something for you to look at there. So I'm going to read these first. I'm going to really get this, and then every other card will clarify these 3. So the wounded child. The wounded child. Okay. Light attribute. Awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children. Opens the learning path of forgiveness. So there we go. There's a lesson of forgiveness here. Opens the learning path of forgiveness. Of course, a child. I think children forgive naturally and organically. They get taught out of it. But But here in this for you, that there is something here for you to learn. A learning path has opened up, and it is ultimately about forgiveness. Yourself, the other, doesn't matter. Forgiveness, because of the quantum, you forgive yourself, you forgive everyone, you forgive everyone, you forgive yourself. So it doesn't matter where you dive in. The shadow attribute blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. So forgiveness, both in light and shadow there. Now look, I do a lot of inner child work really on the daily. Do check out the work of Matt Kahn. Really brilliant teacher, Hay House author, but he's been doing YouTube videos for a really long time. So go check out his back catalog, Mattkahn, I'm pretty sure. Let's read you the martyr, shall we? Now look, this martyr is actually soaring through the air, but look at the hearts, right? The hearts and flowers. There's like there's something very divine and mystical here. Light attribute, learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. You know, I grew up with martyrs. I think most of us did, particularly my grandparents on one side of the family. They had survived the Depression, so everything came back to surviving the Depression, which is why I kind of joke. In my day, we didn't have text messages. We just scrawled our blood on a rock and hucked it into the neighboring cave. Pony Express et al., Raptor Express. So, you know, that light attribute, that there is a transcendent nature here available for the other or from the other, of service, that it's about service. Now, look, Jesus was a martyr. Was Buddha a martyr? Yeah, when he went through his ascetic phase. Yeah, absolutely. Not aesthetic, ascetic, right? Like all of the great ones did. Gandhi, right? Like they were martyred. Martin Luther King Jr., they were martyred, right? But all transcendent in that service to others. This can very much be about them transcending in service to themselves, right? Which is a brilliant thing. But let's look at that shadow attribute, shall we? Can you see it? Addiction to self-pity. Now, why would someone be addicted to self-pity? Well, as I've said in other videos, that there's a biochemical response to every emotion we have, which you can be addicted to like anything else, like everything from heroin to sugar, sweetheart, I get it. But also when it has gotten you what you've wanted, not necessarily what you need, one can fall into martyrdom like that. That's where you get that quote, "Get off the cross, honey, somebody needs the wood," right? So just be aware of the martyr tendency in the other there, because a martyr with a wounded child, we're looking at a parental dynamic most likely, but need not be. This could be any relationship dynamic that you're focusing on. And really by this last card, you'll have some idea whether or not this reading is for you, because not every reading is for everybody, right? Even though I'm doing collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign this time, it might not be your read. You'll know soon. I do that in the prayer, though, that this be truly helpful to whoever watches it. So the athlete archetype, right? Very Atlas, very much holding the world up there, which is an athletic feat. The light attribute, dedication to transcendent. This is the relationship overall. Transcending physical limits, including handicaps. Development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. And it takes immense strength to forgive. By the way, I think it's so detrimental to hold judgments and resentments. What it does to our cell tissue, really, it is a travesty and a tragedy. Where forgiveness is a decision that we can make. Even if we don't know how to forgive, we can make the decision, all right, God got us all, that is, higher power, teach me how to forgive this, because I know I don't know how. You come with humility like a child that knows it doesn't know. Amazing things can happen. Let's look at the shadow attribute anyway. Misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends. False sense of invulnerability and entitlement. Entitlement is one of the 7 deadly sins. It's the deadly sin of the solar plexus, and my camera just does not want to focus, so you're going to have to take my word that that word is there. So you've got this child with a martyr with the overlighting thing there of this being an athletic feat, that something is being developed. But, you know, athletes just don't train one day, right? One day, oh yes, I trained 3 weeks ago on a Tuesday. 10 to 5. It was a long day, but I'm done now. No, that this is work. This relationship is about work. but about transcending physical limits. Isn't that interesting? This is the action family of archetypes, so it might be that there are some limitations in your relationship that seem insurmountable now, but I have learned the hard way. Everything serves everything, right? The pitfalls, the highs, the lows, the whole nine, and that it is so easy for us to judge situations when we don't really get that a weakness is being strengthened. And once we see that, usually in hindsight, we go, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. That really, if it could have gone it, if this could be any other way, it would be another way. So it is as it is. Cool, cool. Let's get the angels' point of view on this. My angels, please clarify for this Taurus collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign for the remainder of September, this wounded child. What's going on for them in this relationship? Well, emerging. Now, that could be that the inner child stuff is emerging, right? That the wounds of the inner child are emerging, but we're going to wait until all the cards are out before I make a summation and really put the pieces of the puzzle together. My angels, please, same for this martyr archetype. The them in this me, them, us relationship for this Taurus collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign for the remainder of September. Well, new love, all right? Now, new love of self, new love of you, maybe, new love of something, new love of themselves. But with that martyr archetype willing to serve, there could even be a renewed sense of love. So when I see new love, it doesn't necessarily mean someone you've never met before, although that's absolutely in the realm of probability. We're looking at the quantum. It's all about probability in the quantum divine plan of the gods, the angels, the masters, and so on. So just know that whether this is a renewal of love for them, a renewal of love for you, but with that emerging in you, I find that interesting. We'll see what clarifies that as we go. So please, for the relationship itself, my angels, please clarify this athlete archetype for this Taurus collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign for the remainder of September. The signs are everywhere. Songs on the radio, right? I have been getting so much synchronicity. It's like it's now become the norm. It still shocks me sometimes, like particularly when I'm writing and I have the TV on and I will type the same word that's being said on the TV. I'm like, all right, right place, right time. But then I look at, well, what am I talking about here? Because they're never talking about the same thing there that I'm talking. Sorry, my TVs are pointing at my TV. Signs are everywhere. So there's something emerging in you. Who knows what? We don't know yet. But in the other, there is new love. And for the relationship, the signs are everywhere. Signs are everywhere. Let's ask the gods. Now, to the best of my knowledge, there's only one goddess that sits in my throne of Taurus who does these Taurus reads, and that is Demeter. And that's this lovely little vial. That's her totem that I wear around my neck. And I'm not telling you what's in it, but if you know me and you've asked me to smell it, it's not amyl nitrate or rush. It's an essential oil because she is my alchemist healer archetype. So my gods, Demeter, Great Earth Mother, particularly for your Taurians, please can you clarify what's emerging in this wounded child archetype Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in this relationship for the remainder of September? Well, Ace of Cups certainly relates to that new love, right? So there's a cup of happiness in this deck. One of Cups is happiness, the Ace of Cups. So think of that might be what's emerging. It's just a seed. It has promise. It has potential. And it is probable that you are feeling that. It's just the idea of a wounded child and a martyr. If there's not some serious honesty and clarity here, tricky, particularly if the signs are popping up here, there, and everywhere in confirmation, writing on the wall, as it were. But I'm not feeling anything too horrible here, considering wounded child. Well, maybe you are more in that light. And this martyr, maybe they really are transcendent, and maybe this relationship is about transcending physical limits, even handicaps. But who's to say those handicaps are purely physical? They could be mental, they could be emotional, spiritual handicaps, right? I mean, look, I was raised Catholic, but that idea of being born sinful, I mean, that's Old Testament too. Adam and Eve, damn apple. I never did like apples. That's why. I wouldn't eat apples when I was a kid because of Adam and Eve. See what I mean? About like a spiritual limitation. Right? So, and that's religious. Spiritual is a different deal in my mind, but let us continue. Please, Demeter. One card in clarity for this martyr with new love. What's going on here in this Aries collective? Bottom of the deck, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. The remainder of September. It is the card of celebration, which is a card of revelation. If you look at the women, looks like they're dancing in a circle in the mountains, but they're really standing on the belly of the Great Mother. Demeter herself, though technically Gaia, but because we called upon her, we will say it is Demeter, right? The nourishing, that something is revelation, revealed. There's revelation here, because if you look at it differently, something totally pops out in a bigger, larger picture. That is the card of judgment. So there might even be a decision involved here and a reconciliation, right? Like, I agree. You know, that judgment card can be that the truth has been revealed, the judgment has been made, and reconciliation is possible. So that's why this new love that is going on in this line with the martyr archetype might very well be about a reunion or a clearing of the air, a healing, a revelation, a reunion, a reconciliation. Can certainly feel that way. There is something very warm and loving about this so far, just as an empath. I mean, my Pisces moon picks up on everything going by, but this, I really feel this. It's so solid, it's so stable. Like, this feels very in for a penny, in for a pound with this this martyr here. All right, so please, Demeter, one more card from you, please, to clarify the overall relationship, this athlete, this athletic relationship with signs here, there, and everywhere. Please clarify for this Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign relationship for the remainder of September. All right, well, there is a hurricane going on. Now notice it's 5 of blades, right? So that's a lot of thought, right? That's a lot of the mind spinning. Now, people usually associate that with the 8 of swords. But the thing about a hurricane, the safest place is in the eye, the EYE of the hurricane, right? That's the still point. But there's also something a little Alcoholics Anonymous 12-step there about keeping it in the eye. So each of you really might be spinning in your minds about all of this, a lot of thought. But it's so funny, in the previous 2 lines, I'm getting a lot of water, a lot of love, a lot of spirit. So there may be some confusion about this and a changing of minds. As chaotic as this card is really in every deck that I've ever seen, 5 of blades, 5 of swords, never that much fun. Do keep in mind that it can just mean mental change, right? That the winds of change are blowing by. Thank you. Grace Slick. I love that song. Walk softly through the desert sand. Careful where you tread. Go Google it. It's a great song. Winds of change. Jefferson Starship, or I think at that point they were just Starship. Let's ask the masters about this. Not about Grace Slick, who I love. Goddess in her own right. Shall we, my masters, please? One card in clarity for this Taurian wounded child archetype. That's not the one, though. Don't shoot it across the floor till I'm done. Virgo, procedure, protocol, darling. My masters, please, one card in clarity for this Taurian child, wounded child archetype emerging with this Ace of Cups, this Taurus Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign relationship for September 2019, that there is fear, right? So you got some fear emerging here around this Ace of Cups, happiness, possibly, oh my God, am I going to get hurt again? Am I going to get wounded again? This can you know what's really helpful about this? Yes, it's about your childhood. A lot of this stuff is, but it wouldn't be coming up unless it was there to be loved and embraced and healed and alchemized. So that's really cool. So yeah, face your fears, right? Just look at it. What is it that I'm really afraid of? I'm afraid I'm going to get heartbroken. Honey, no one can ever break your heart. We break our hearts on people. I'll never forget, my guide said to me, he didn't break your heart. You broke your heart on him like barking a coconut on a sharp rock. I was like, oh, it's so true. It was true. My expectations, right? You have no expectations. There's no heartbreak. And it doesn't mean you expect the worst either. That's having an expectation. You say, all right, this is what's on my path. This is what's going on in this relationship. Let's do it to it. All right. That's surrender. It's not I give up. It's saying, okay, if this is the curriculum, if this is what I got to go through to, live my life and be the best that I can be for the well-being of all and manifest my highest destiny and all that stuff, my dreams come true. Okay. I'll be given what I need as I need it, right? And that's why now divination is everywhere through YouTube. I mean, I love taking private clients. I do, with so much more intimacy than I can do here. It can be so Virgo laser-like specific when I read another face-to-face. But what an opportunity for us to heal now in the collective, right? So my master, same thing for the other in this Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign relationship. Please, this martyr with new love, celebration, and revelation. Please, a clue, a tip, a hint. Well, revenge. That they're a little feeling weird about revenge. Now, revenge is a weird thing. I will be the first to say, having experienced it firsthand, both sides, right? Like, I can be incredibly vengeful, but I have learned that as that rises up in me, that could very much be a martyr who has given and given and given and given, but has not given to themselves. That's why an out of balance martyr, right? An addiction to self-pity. How can there not be feelings of revenge, of wanting to balance the scale? It's so funny how the word vengeance and avenging and avenger and revenge, it's venge, 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 venge. That there really is in the light side of revenge. I mean, the healthy thing, that the shadow would be revenge, is about fairness and balancing the scales of justice where harm has been done. So I find that interesting for that martyr there, and maybe that's your fear as well. You may be picking up here that maybe this is a revenge about somebody else, maybe a past or present third party. But what I find interesting about this particular type of reading is if this is not another person that you're focusing on, but a thing, then is there a revenge element in doing this thing that reveals this new love? Really does feel like another person. But again, reading for collectives, what do you want? My masters, one more please for this relationship overall for this Taurus Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in this relationship for the remainder of September 2019. This athlete with signs. Oh, that's the one. In a hurricane of signs. Well, here we've got fear of commitment. So you got 3 problem cards. So yes, there are problems in this relationship. Show me ones that don't. Even when I do readings and for certain signs in a series and just everything they've ever wanted, it's not about the other shoe dropping necessarily, but it's about that's not how life is in the 3rd dimension, but we are moving through the 3rd dimension, imploding it, the illusion of separation through the unity consciousness of the 5th dimension. Look it up. It's true. Not just unconditional love, the sacred mind and the sacred heart in balance, the divine masculine, divine feminine, the divine child. Yeah. So I'm going to hold up the cards in sets too, but this one in particular, with fear, revenge, and fear of commitment, right? That really does say something here about this relationship, that maybe the person that you're dealing with, you have been for a while, is in your life. Again, does not have to be romantic. This could be a family member, a sibling or something. But that revenge there concerns me only in that you've got the fear and the fear of commitment. So if you're even hearing that there's a revenge element here, remember, someone can take revenge on themselves. Right? It's enough the vengeance we have for others. What is the vengeance we have for ourselves? That what may be revealed to them in this card of celebration with this new love is how they have sabotaged their own stuff before, perhaps from their addiction to self-pity, doing for others and not doing for them. That's why that transcendent nature of serving oneself, right? And really no one in unity consciousness would even think of revenge. It may come up, but then that's something in the collective being purged through them. Let's get our last deck here. I love these cards. Oracle cards. I saw a funny meme the other day. It was a split screen. One was like, Oracle cards, though it is a rough time that you're going through, you're learning how to heal and preserve and walk your path. And the other one was Whoopi Goldberg Ghost. It says tarot. It's like, you in trouble, girl. Really made me laugh out loud. But that's why I do love the Oracle cards. I've been reading tarot since I'm 12. A little harsh, a little harshy Nick Harsherstein. Here we go. My collective pantheon of angels, gods, masters, and higher selves. Please, one card down for this Taurus collective sun, moon, rising sign. This wounded child with emerging Ace of Cups and fear. Please, a clue, a tip, a hint for this relationship. Love makes a difference. Love can help heal past hurts and provide a sense of security, self-worth, and importance, right? Love makes a difference. Love makes a difference in this situation that might seem otherwise really toxic, really challenging, really scary, right? Love makes a difference. So that Ace of Cups, that emerging love, let that be love for yourself. Love that fear that's emerging in you, understanding that it's part of the wounded child, that stuff in the cell tissue coming up and out. It's a detox. It's emotional baggage that you're evaporating through the light of love. Oh my God, that's so fluffy. But it's not. If you've ever had to do it, and looks like you're going to have to do it here, ask for some help. Now let's get for this martyr, please. Same thing, my collective pantheon of angels, guides, masters, and higher selves. Please, one card, a whisper of love for the other in this Taurus collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs for the remainder of September 2019. Please give them a whisper of love. Speak the language of love. Loving words have the power to change someone's life, including your own. So I know the cards are called the Whispers of Love, but not all of them have the main title of the card with the word love in it like this does. So my Taurus, you've got, pardon me, love makes a difference. They've got speak the language of love. So they're, you know, again, that my eye goes right to that revenge card. How much you want to bet that this revenge is towards themselves? Because honestly, they may be taking things out on other people. They may have even taken things out on you. That is their own pain. But now it feels like that's being revealed to them. And for them to speak the language of love might very well be saying, I'm so sorry. That had nothing to do with you. That was my shit. Yeah. And that love makes a difference. If you can, there's a great experience of self-worth when you love somebody where they is. You love somebody for where they are, not knowing to know what their pains are in the specific or in the general, but just to go, no, bless you. No one would do that if they were happy. And who's happy all the time? We all do it. We all slip. We all get possessed by pain, get possessed by fear, and then we do things we would never do if we were in our right minds, our healthy minds, our true minds. So one more, last card down, please. My pantheon of angels, gods, masters, and higher selves. Please, a whisper of love for this overall Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign relationship for the remainder of September. Please, we've got this athletic relationship with signs in a hurricane, yet a fear of commitment. And I get it with these two, why both of them would be afraid of commitment. What's the baggage that they're carrying? So please, a card of clarity, a whisper of love. Actions speak loudly. Express your love through your actions. Now, we didn't identify divine masculine, divine feminine in this read. It's not that kind of reading. I would have said that from the outset. But that is definitely with that athlete, right? What family is it? The action family of archetypes. To act on these signs, that to keep it in the eye and be like, I am doing this for each of you individually. The relationship is about, okay, all right, it's like my mind, so much is changing. I am afraid of commitment, but the signs are everywhere. So I can at least text somebody, make a phone call and say, look, can we talk? Or I was thinking of you, or, you know, take action. Actions speak loudly. So that doesn't mean you need to scream at the top of your lungs, or that you need to, I don't know, tattoo their name backwards on your forehead so you can see it in the mirror. Not necessary. Not necessary. It doesn't have to be great, big, huge, because it feels like whatever actions you take here, collectively, both of you in this relationship, will speak loudly. Cool. My Taurians, I thank you so much for watching. I hope you get something out of this. All right, I'll do this again one last time. I didn't do it for all of them. So here you are, right? The wounded child with the martyr in this athletic relationship. We established that already. With what's emerging in you, this Ace of Cups, but it comes with fear. But know that love makes a difference. Love yourself, love the fear, love what rises. Go watch Matt Kahn, Mattkahn. Brilliant. I know I talk about him a lot because he's really helped me, and I've never even met him. He's younger than I am, funnier and wiser, which how can I not look up to that at this stage in my life? That's a good thing. And for this martyr, we've got the new love with celebration, revelation, yet with this element of revenge. I'm getting this is really more about them taking revenge on themselves, but go easy with that, and that with the whisper of love, speak the language of love. Club 96. Just saying. So that makes sense there, right? You see how all those collectives go together. Sorry, just laying these out. I will take a picture of this and put it up, probably putting this up right now. And then finally, with this athlete card, right? We've got this athletic, physical limit transcending relationship with signs and hurricane and fear of commitment, yet with action speaks loudly with an athlete action archetype family card. This is very dynamic. This is only 2 weeks we're looking at. I feel like action can be taken now. It need not be explosive, but otherwise, I'm going to say, with such powerful archetypes in place here, that there is something divinely guided about this. I'm not going to say twin flame, soulmate, true lover, any of that. Who knows at this point? It ain't that kind of read. But whatever this other is for you that you're focusing on, you've got your coordinates here. I don't tell people what to do. Unlike GPS, I give you coordinates. I show you a route, but you can go off that route and find your own way, right? Free will, but I'm going to ask you to repeat this question in your mind. What would love do? What would love do? Particularly you. Love makes a difference. What would love do? And it might very well be you love yourself. You love that wounded child inside of you, and boy, can I relate to that, because I don't know anybody who's not struggling with that. But if they're aware of it, it's much better than if they're not, right? I thank you so much for your time. I thank you so much if you've subscribed. If you please hit like. Apparently every time you like, it makes the videos more available to other people. So please do that as a service for me as well as for others in the collective. And I really, really appreciate you watching. And I wish you as ever, hail, farewell, and blessed be.